You chase happiness like it's something you lost, like a set of keys you misplaced years ago. And if you just retrace your steps perfectly enough, you'll finally find them. You scroll through posts of people smiling, traveling, glowing. Their lives look so simple, so figured out. And you wonder why you're still here, stuck in the same patterns, waiting, searching, trying. You've read the books, the ones with minimalist covers and bold promises. You've tried the habits, 5 a.m. wake-ups, journaling, cold showers. You've repeated the affirmations in the mirror even when you didn't quite believe them. But the more you reach for happiness, the further it seems to drift, like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. And deep down, you already know the truth. The chase itself is what keeps you from it. But knowing doesn't stop you from running, does it? You look around, and everyone seems to have figured it out. The colleague who meditates at lunch, the friend who talks about alignment and energy, the influencer who wakes up at dawn, grateful, grounded, glowing. They all have the perfect morning routine, the right relationship, the dream job, the kind of inner peace you can see in their eyes. But you're still waiting for that moment when everything clicks, when you'll finally wake up and feel complete, like all the broken pieces have fallen into place, like you've crossed some invisible finish line. You try meditation. You sit there, legs crossed, eyes closed, waiting to feel zen. But your mind won't stop. It just keeps listing everything you need to do, everything you haven't done, everything you're worried about. So you try gratitude journals, 3 things you're grateful for every morning, and you write them down honestly. Your health, your home, your people. But even as you write them, there's this quiet voice asking, then why don't I feel happy? You buy the book everyone's reading, the one with 50,000 5-star reviews and quotes all over Instagram. And for a few days, you feel lighter. You underline sentences. You feel seen. You think, this is it. This is the answer. But then the feeling fades. The book sits on your nightstand half read, forgotten. And you're back where you started, scrolling late at night, looking for the next thing that might finally make you feel whole. The next podcast, the next guru, the next breakthrough moment. It's exhausting. This endless search for something that feels just out of reach, like you're always one step away from finally getting it right. One habit away, one insight away, one life change away. But the distance never closes. Here's the painful irony. The more desperately you want to be happy, the more aware you become of not being happy. It's like trying not to think about something. The effort itself makes it impossible. You see couples laughing at dinner, holding hands like it's the easiest thing in the world, and you feel lonely. Even if you're not alone, even if you're surrounded by people, you see success stories, the promotions, the launches, the milestones, and you feel behind. Like everyone got a manual you never received, like they're all running a race you didn't know had started. You see peaceful faces on yoga mats and meditation apps, eyes closed, breathing deeply, and you feel chaos inside. A mind that won't quiet, a heart that won't settle. The pursuit itself becomes the prison, because happiness isn't something you can hunt down like a goal. It's not a destination you arrive at after checking enough boxes. It's not waiting at the end of your to-do list, or on the other side of your next achievement, or in the arms of the right person. It's the thing that happens when you stop performing for it. When you stop curating your life for an invisible audience. When you stop measuring your days against everyone else's highlight reel. When you stop waiting for external validation to give you permission to feel good. But nobody tells you that. Instead, the world keeps selling you the next solution, the 21-day challenge, the transformative course, the supplement that will fix your mood, the app that will fix your mind, the routine that will fix your life, and you keep buying in. Not because you're naive, but because the alternative feels too scary. What if you stop searching and you still feel empty? What if you let go of the chase and there's nothing waiting on the other side? What if you're not incomplete because you haven't found the answer yet, but because you are the answer and you just don't know how to accept it? That's the fear that keeps you running. Psychologists have a name for this trap, the Hedonic Paradox. It's the phenomenon where actively pursuing happiness makes you less happy. Sounds backwards, doesn't it? But here's why it happens. When you chase something, your brain shifts into a state of lack, constantly scanning for what's missing, constantly comparing where you are to where you should be, constantly measuring the gap between your reality and your ideal. And that gap, that's where suffering lives. Dr. Dan Gilbert, a Harvard psychologist who spent decades studying happiness, found something fascinating. People who focus less on being happy and more on simply being present, engaging with what's in front of them, connecting with the moment they're actually in, report significantly higher life satisfaction over time. Not because their lives are perfect, but because they stopped demanding that they be. Carl Jung said it perfectly, "What you resist persists." The more you resist your current state, the sadness, the boredom, the uncertainty, the ordinariness, the more it dominates your experience, because resistance is a form of attention. And whatever you give attention to grows. You wake up and immediately scan for what's wrong, what's missing, what's not enough. And your brain, loyal and efficient, finds it every single time. Here's what's important to understand. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're not weak for struggling with this. You're not less evolved or less spiritual or less enlightened. Your brain is just doing what it was designed to do. Protect you from perceived threats. And to your nervous system, not being happy enough feels like a threat. It interprets it as, something is wrong, we're not safe, we need to fix this. So it keeps you searching, comparing, striving, scanning the environment for solutions. It's a survival mechanism, not a personality flaw. Your ancestors survived because they were always looking for what was wrong. The rustling in the bushes, the stranger at the edge of camp, the shortage of food. Contentment wasn't evolutionarily useful. Restlessness was. So you inherited a brain that's wired to look for problems, even when there aren't any, especially when there aren't any. That's why you can have everything you once dreamed of and still feel like something's missing. Not because you're ungrateful, but because your brain is literally designed to keep moving the goalposts. It's called the hedonic treadmill. You get the thing you wanted, you feel good for a moment, and then your baseline resets. And suddenly, that thing is just normal. And you're looking for the next thing that will make you feel alive again. This isn't a moral failing. This is neuroscience. And understanding that, that's where freedom begins. So here's the shift. Happiness isn't something you find. It's something you allow. It's not a trophy you earn after years of self-improvement. It's not a peak you summit after the perfect combination of habits. It's not a prize for becoming the best version of yourself. It's permission you give yourself to be human, messy, imperfect, uncertain, and still somehow okay. Happiness is not waiting for you at the end of your to-do list. It's not hiding behind the next achievement or relationship. It's not reserved for the version of you who's finally figured it all out. It's here, right now, in the ordinary, imperfect, messy middle of your life. In the morning coffee that's too hot. In the text from a friend you almost didn't answer. In the song that came on at exactly the right moment, in the way the light hits your room at 4 p.m. The moment you stop chasing it, you create space for it to actually arrive. Because happiness doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from no longer needing life to be different than it is. And let's be clear, that doesn't mean giving up on growth or dreams. It doesn't mean settling or becoming complacent. It doesn't mean you stop wanting more. It means releasing the belief that you're incomplete without it, that you're somehow broken or behind or not enough until you reach that next level. You're allowed to want more and still feel whole. You're allowed to have big dreams and appreciate what's already here. You're allowed to have bad days and still be enough. These aren't contradictions. This is balance. The people who seem the happiest, they're not the ones with perfect lives. They're not the ones who never struggle. They're not the ones who've solved all their problems. They're the ones who stopped waiting for permission to enjoy the life they already have. They stopped putting happiness on layaway. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when I meet the right person. They decided, I'm allowed to feel good now, not because I've earned it, but because I'm alive, and that's enough. And maybe that sounds too simple. Maybe it sounds like spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. But it's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't dependent on your mood. Your value isn't determined by your productivity. Your life isn't on pause until you feel better. This, right now, exactly as it is. This is it. This is your life. And you can spend it chasing an idea of happiness that keeps moving further away the closer you get. Or you can exhale and let yourself be here. One day, you'll look back and realize the happiness you were chasing was always walking beside you. In the quiet mornings before the world woke up, in the small conversations that meant nothing and everything, in the ordinary moments you almost missed because you were too busy searching for extraordinary ones. You don't need to become someone else to be happy. You don't need to fix yourself, optimize yourself, upgrade yourself into a better version. You just need to stop running from who you already are. The pursuit ends when you finally let yourself rest. When you stop treating your life like a problem to be solved, when you stop waiting for the perfect conditions to give yourself permission. And maybe that's when the real journey begins. Not toward happiness, but into presence, into the kind of peace that doesn't need a reason, the kind that doesn't require anything from you, the kind that simply is. You were never incomplete. You were just convinced that you were. And now you get to put down the search. You get to stop performing. You get to come home to yourself, to this moment, to the quiet, knowing that you've always been enough. Welcome home. If this message touched you in some way, if something here resonated, with what you've been feeling. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want more content like this, reflections that make you pause, breathe, and feel, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Leave a like if this made sense to you, because every like shows me that these words matter, that it's worth continuing to create these moments of pause in the middle of the chaos. See you in the next video, and remember, you are already enough.